they will change because of your presence. And they won't change into someone that they're not. They will change into the person who they truly are. Now today what I want to talk about is that when you come around people, when you are on semen retention, especially when you are retaining your life force, particular people will present themselves a particular way on a subconscious level, which affects their physical appearance as well. The way they talk, the way they move, the way they interact with you, right? What happens is that as you stay on this journey of retaining your life force, retaining your seed, on this journey of semen retention, they will begin to change. Their presence, their voice, the way they talk to you, this will begin to change, and it will show their true colors. Now, I know this sounds weird because a lot of people don't see this. You don't really pay attention, but when you start vibrating at a particular frequency, and it's not that it's a high frequency, but you start to vibrate at a particular frequency that makes you kind of like not mix with the other frequencies. Like for example, when you take oil and water, right? The oil and water cannot mix. There's kind of like a separation that happens, that you can see the oil from the water. Now, it's because they are, of course, different substances. Now, the thing is, what happens is when you are vibrating at a different rate, you don't mix the same. So you can then observe the changes. You can see, okay, wait, this thing is happening. And you are naturally more aware of your environment. You're more aware of people's energy as they present themselves, their presence, what they're bringing when they're not just talking to you, but in your vicinity. All of these stuff, you become very hypersensitive to these things. Not hypersensitive in a way where you can't manage, you're like, oh, I can't deal with this. No, you become hypersensitive where you can pick up on patterns. Your pattern recognition is also increased. So they will begin to change. Their presence will begin to change. When you are attaining your life force, when you are a man that is saying, you know what, I'm stepping back into my power, I'm stepping back and I'm taking back that which is already mine. I am becoming that which I always was, that which was always me, that which was always my masculine me, as I have manifested onto this plane of reality. Now, what happened was that there was this particular incident where I knew a person, I'd met this person, and it was in a work setting. And over the weeks, this person began to change. And the way they talk to me changed. Their energy changed, and sometimes it was off and sometimes it was normal. But what I picked up was that people begin to show their true colors when you're on this journey. When you decide, you know what, I'm going to take things into my own hands. I want to stop, getting distracted by the world. I'm going to stop getting, hyper focused on things and hyper fixated on things that don't matter. I'm going to start, drawing everything to me, drawing back that which I always was, that which I already am and will always be up until I pass on, up until this body ceases to exist. All right? When you start going through that process, you start picking up on people. They will begin to change. They will begin to change to their truest form. So when you meet people, all right, always give everyone the best possible chance. Always do that, man. Like, don't run off the opinions and the perceptions of what other people say. Always do your own homework. That's what I say. Have a conversation with that person. Be open to it. Open yourself as much as you can. I'm not saying you're going to be their best friend, but be a welcoming, normal person with them. Don't have any ulterior intentions that you want to, whether good or bad. Just be neutral, introduce yourself, have a conversation, work with them if you need to. If they ask questions, answer their questions and stuff. But what you will see then is that particular people begin to change. They will begin to change. So their presence reverts to who they truly were. The words they say sound like the person that they truly are. And they become who they truly are. They change into the person that they always were. Not the person that they presented themselves as to you, to get to know you or etc etc. No, they become the person that they actually are, and you will see that, and they won't even know that you see that. But on a subconscious level, you will see that. You will see that they are subconsciously doing it. Now, do not mistake this occurrence, this how people change, how they talk, their presence around you, the relationship they have with you in some type of way, or if they start acting weird, or try to put you in a position where you look bad. You know what I mean? Or you feel guilty for absolutely nothing. The thing is that these people do it unconsciously. When you operate at a level or at a frequency of unconscious mind, you are just kind of roaming and floating in space and just acting whatever way that comes to you. But it's not even through you, it's through a different medium. Now, I don't want to say that it's demonic, or that these people are possessed, or that they're infested with demons. I don't want to say that. But they're not themselves. They're not actually who they are. They are just kind of being like puppeteered by something. What that is doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, they just kind of have the actions, not through them. It's not because they're not conscious. And that's not to say that they're bad people. It's just saying to you that when you see someone switch up like that, or when they try to put you in a position where you feel guilty or feel ashamed for something that you shouldn't feel ashamed for, shouldn't feel bad for, I'm me, man. Why should I feel ashamed about what my accent is, or how I talk, or how I say words? Why should I be feel bad for it? This is one example, but these are the things that these people will do. You think you're cool with them, and the next thing you know, they've snaked on you. And this happens a lot in workplaces. It happens in relationships, where the person does something that ultimately is whoa, it shocks you, and they consistently are that person, or they consistently do that thing because they are that person consistently. So it presents you with this scenario where you whoa, what happened to this person, man? They've just changed. They're trying to out me for things. They're trying to, scheme on me and stuff, and you'll see. And again, I don't even blame them, because they are just living unconsciously. So they're just being kind of floating around, doing things. The key here is that you see it. The key is that you notice it. You notice the patterns, because it's about pattern recognition, something that continuously occurs. That's when you note it down. I would even say, if something happens twice, maybe 3 times, write it off. You know what I mean? Maybe they're having a bad day. People have bad days. People have bad situations. A lot of people are, dealing with a lot of things at a lot of the time. So perhaps just, let it go. If someone does something that upsets you, doesn't mean that person changed. But when you recognize the patterns, that's when you start to see, okay, now I'm going to distance myself from this person. But they will begin to change. They will change their words, how they talk to you, their relationship with you, their presence around you, because you will see that. So when you're on this journey, you're going to become sensitive to these things. You're going to see it. You're going to notice the patterns. You're going to be hypersensitive, hyper aware of these types of things. Very self-aware, very environmentally aware, and at large, very energetically aware as well, and spiritually aware and mentally aware, because you're going to pick up on these things. Anyways, that is something that I've experienced on my journey, and if you relate, let me know. If not, obviously don't, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, just let me know. Anyways, peace out.